Hey everyone, Richard Metal Fan here, continuing the Tool discography, and today we're going to be reviewing Lateralus, the band's third album released in the year of May of 2001. Now, now I feel like with this album, Lateralus, this is, in my opinion, probably my favorite Tool album. Um, um, and I feel like this took a long to make because their previous album, Anima, came out in 1996. Well, I thought it was a solid album, but I feel like this album is just blows this out of water. I feel like this kind of like shows an evolution in Tool's sound, like musically. I feel like they're going in like more of a heavier direction, like more metal approach, especially like in the crunchiness of the guitars, and the bass is pretty good, and the drumming is just spot on. Whereas I feel like I forgot to mention in my Anima review was that with that album, I feel like it's kind of like a carbon copy of Undertow, but just slightly a bit better. But with this album, this blows it out of the water. Just wow. So yeah, I just like all the songs are pretty good. There's not that many like interludes, maybe like one or two here and there, but they just don't run too long. But yeah, let's just dive into this track by track. Now, starting it off is The Grudge. Now, this is a slow burning track driven mainly by the percussion and Maynard's like mantra like vocals, and the lyrics seem to be on the surface literally about a grudge, about a slow burning hatred for someone through expressed more poetically than most people could probably manage. Oddly, the song kind of starts with a sound like a washing machine switching on before it launching into like the huge groove that stays on for the full 8.5 minutes. It's and I love like sort of like Maynard sort of like screaming about 7 minutes in, lasting almost 30 seconds, which is insanely. Surely one of the greatest ever recorded, and one of my personal favorite tracks. Then we go into Eon Blue Apocalypse, Lipstick, which is a little interlude. It's only like a minute long. It sounds very Eastern to me. I mean, it doesn't isn't like so much less slide into the very long song, which is The Patient, which is on a whole a much quieter track than the opener until like the huge guitar hers lashing into it later on. And the ideas are again expressed in lyrics better than anything I could ever imagine myself. And seems to focus on a different aspect of a grudge, someone doggedly trying to keep the relationship alive. They've um again kind of similar to Eon Blue Apocalypse's mantra, which isn't in the song as such, just a sieg into like schism. And I feel like this is a track that you probably heard if you're not already a Tool fan. I just pretty much love the little bass intro that Justin does. One of his shining moments on the album. But man, that's pretty much the bass on this album is pretty really well. Can't even speak today. Really high up in the mix is really great. Right, and I feel like this will get stuck in your head. Then we go into Parabole. Bull, which I think this is kind of like a two-parter, being Parabole and Parabola. The first part I feel like these are one of the heavier songs on here. Like the first part is Parabole, which doesn't seem so, and in fact it returns to a relaxed, kind of like shown in like the song The Patient, and the music is generally softer and slower, concentrating more on Maynard's softly sung vocals, and it explodes into Parabola with searing loud guitars and a much more energetic musical showcase while retaining the same lyrical themes from Parabola. And Maynard's vocals remained relaxed for most of the song before he injects more power into them later on. Ticks and Leeches, which is probably the loudest song on the album. It's definitely contains sort of like the harshest vocals that Maynard has done. It apparently took like Maynard 3 weeks to recover his voice after recording it, from what I was looking up before recording this review. And as far as I know, this song has only been performed live once, and it is again more percussion driven and a real showcase for Danny Carey, along with some steering work from all the other instrumentals. And the lyrics and the vocal styles are angry, bitter, and strong. Then we go into the title track of the album being Lateralus, which starts off with a gentle and memorable repeating guitar bit, and this track definitely lulls you into like a false sense of security before jumping off with like a huge riff. And this is probably my favorite track on the album, and the vocals are very mantra-esque, as in like the opener The Grudge, which for me makes the at least with Feed My Will to Feel This Moment later on the almost perfect moment. Then we go into Disposition, which is a slow track with simple repetitive lyrics and repetitive beautiful musical work in the background. It's only like 4.5 minutes, but it seems a bit longer. It's almost perfect for relaxing to if you don't want to have to concentrate on what you're listening to. And it's almost like music for meditation. Reflection links perfectly into Disposition after a long wait for vocals, all better to appreciate the musical stills the band has possessed to build up. And this is the longest song on here. It's a little over 11 minutes long, and Maynard's voice just takes you on a slightly higher pitched quality, which suits the track really well. Triad is an instrumental. From Reflections, it's good, but only in the same way as Disposition is for good, relaxing to, or as a showcase for musician skills, which is impressive. And this is something I also forgot to mention. I feel like with this album, like every song pretty much flows into it. And then the last track on here is Fayep de Oyad. I can't really pronounce it right. It's sort of like a secret track, which is actually listed on the back of the case. It's not a song as such. It's actually a recording of a phone call made to a morning radio show from a man claiming to be on the run from his former employers in Area 51. And he was like spewing it seriously with equals uneasy comedy, if you're into that sort of thing. And it's played over what seems to be white noise. And the title is in Enochian, which is a language of the angels as dictated of the man in the 16th century and his assistants in vision. And but yeah, it's just weird. But overall, Lateralus is pretty much a definite step up from Undertow and Anima combined. Definitely better than those two. So if I have to give this album a score, I'm going to give this a solid 10 out of 10. It's one of the best metal albums of the 21st century, and I love it. So yeah, that's my review of Lateralus, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next review as we're going to be reviewing 10,000 Days. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, keep it metal.